Hi everyone, welcome back to Berich Podcast. In this session, we are going to discuss about the US debt. In 1990, the US debt was around $3.5 trillion and now it is more than 32 trillion US dollars. So when anyone gets the loan, it has to be repaid and US debt is almost increasing every year and it is never coming down. So how does the debt is keeping on increasing?
Well, all companies, even you, Arun, will be happy to raise your debt if you're the one making the money. If you're creating money in your house and you're able to spend much as you want, you can raise your debt level to anything, because if someone wants money, you just print more money and give it to them.
Okay.
That's what having the reserve currency means. Jokes aside, yes, American debt is increasing. The Americans are worried about it. You have two factions in the US. You have one who believe you should be prudent and you should spend within your means and you should be conservative in your spending. Then you have the other camp which believe that it's okay to borrow and spend because that's how it keeps going. And as long as you can manage your borrowings, you can keep borrowing as much as you want. And considering the fact that everyone uses US currency and US treasuries are accepted worldwide, we will borrow now, but we will pay it later. Don't worry. We will eventually get to paying once we fix everything. The good thing is always we'll fix it. Then after everything is fixed, everything will become normal. We will not spend. So that's why the problem is. And we all know from history, you cannot borrow more and you can't dig yourself out of a hole. You have to, somewhere along the line, stop digging. And when will this become a problem is when people stop accepting American dollars. Has that happened in history? Yes, there are many countries which have had reserve currency status and have lost it. The British pound, the Indian rupee, believe it or not, was a reserve currency.
Oh, when was it?
When the British were ruling us. When Lord Keynes was managing Indian rupee, we were trading in 1 to 1 to a pound. 1 rupee was 1 pound.
It was equal.
Yes, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like, but it was. Will it happen again? Why not? If it happened in the past, it can happen in the future. But there are certain events that have to happen for this to become a reality. Everyone has to start rejecting the US dollar. I don't see that happening anytime soon, because what will you replace it with? This is a question. Okay, we remove US dollar as reserve currency.
No, there's no.
Which currency do you trust?
The countries in the east like China and Russia are powerful, but
you don't trust them, no?
no?
If I tell you, instead of taking US dollar, you take all your payments in Russian currency or Chinese currency, you won't trust it.
No.
Because the basic thing is the guy sitting in power in China or Russia can decide to do whatever he wants to the currency. He can decide to add zeros to it. He can decide to take zeros out of it. And what will you do holding it then? So that's the problem. The reason why US is considered as reserve currencies, they're the freest right now of all the currencies. And they're fairest out of all the currencies. I'm not saying the best. It's not ideal. There are lots of things wrong in the US and their currency. But if you compare it to the rest of the world, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
The least evil is that. And because of that advantage, they're doing. But this data graph which you have, it's zoomed out. If you do zoom in and see, there have been times when the US debt has been lowered.
It's a 30-year-old graph.
Yeah. So that's why the trend is what it's showing. But if you zoom into specific times and specific presidencies and years, they have lowered their debt. They've worked very hard to lower their debt. But the next guy comes and he decides to spend. But their problem is they like being world policemen.
Yeah.
So that
like to order every people.
So that's the biggest problem for them. They seem to be wanting to control democracies around the world, and which has led to problems for them when it comes back home. And their biggest expense is defense. The most of the spending which you're seeing right now is all for defense. They're giving Ukraine, they're giving Israel. So all the spending which they do is borrowed spending, and they justify it like that. We're doing it for saving the world. Well, yes, once we have world peace, then we won't need to spend like this. We'll take all the surplus and close it. But world peace will never happen because the American economy is made such that it always needs a war to keep it going. If you see American economy from World War II to now, they keep on having periodic reasons for spending defense. And they manufacture a reason to spend it. Like how Pakistan does. Even India, we create issues with our neighbors to make sure our defense spending stays. But Americans take it to another level. Not only they spend in their country, they make other countries spend. Then they go build bases in those countries and they stay there and also make them spend. They'll come and set up a base here and then they'll tell you, I'm taking care of you, so you pay me now to take care of you.
We didn't call for them, but they themselves will come.
Yes.
So how does that US raise debt? Only
You
through
print-
bonds, or
Yeah.
there are any other sources?
No. There is bonds is nothing but printing currency.
Okay.
They sell the bonds,
Mm.
and people are buying. No.
Yeah.
All over the world, even RBI buys, Chinese central bank buys, everybody buys. But now there's been a resistance against buying because of what happened to Russia. They went against American policy and they invaded Ukraine. Whatever your opinion is about that, I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is America then decided to launch economic warfare on Russia by choking the dollar usage. So Russia is not able to use its dollars and participate in a dollar economy. So when they saw this happening in Russia, central banks like China and India thinking future, they may do this to us. He might hold me to ransom. So they don't want to use their securities, and that's why we've been binging on gold. Central bank in China is buying lots of gold. And if you go pull up a graph, you should do another video showing you the top countries that hold gold reserves. That itself is eye-watering to see. The change in the past to where it's going now, the future trends, how gold reserves are going. So we have to wait and watch. But as of now, for the foreseeable future, in my lifetime, I don't see US reserve currency being removed. Hey, might happen. But I don't see it. I don't see the signs of it happening. Right now, the current world, the way it is, I don't see it happening.
So I hope that this video was informative and interesting. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel for more videos. See you in another episode with an interesting topic. Thanks for watching the video.
Thank you.